Good morning, and welcome to the second day of the Wand and Will October Action Summit. This morning, it is my great honor to introduce to you Will alumni, former Will torchbearer, and my personal shero, Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Congresswoman Lee represents California's 13th district, and as a native of Northern California, I like to claim her as my own, even though I'm not actually from her district. And I know a lot of us like to think of Congresswoman Lee as our representative. It's easy to feel that way because Barbara Lee has spent her career representing all of us. The issues we hold near and dear: economic security for all people, environmental justice, affordable, high-quality healthcare, and civil rights. Congresswoman Lee has been on the front line of these critical issues throughout her career. But when it comes to global peace and security, she quite literally stands alone. As the sole vote against the authorization for use of military force, or AUMF, enacted in the days after the 9/11 attacks, Congresswoman Lee recognized the danger of the overly broad legislation to launch endless wars, and how right she was. 20 years later, she remains a champion of repealing the AUMF, investing in diplomacy, and reining in out-of-control Pentagon spending. Just last month, she proposed amendments to eliminate the $25 billion in defense spending that Congress added above and beyond what the president requested, and to reduce the bloated Pentagon budget by 10%. Congresswoman Lee is a champion of women's political leadership, a staunch supporter of peace and security, and a representative for all of us. Please welcome Congresswoman Barbara Lee.
Thank you, Nancy, for that very kind introduction. I'd like to welcome this incredibly diverse audience of women state legislators and my fellow women legislators lobby alumni to this year's October Action Summit for Women Legislators. This organization has done so much to promote women leaders in public policy across the country. I'm fortunate to have been a part of this group of successful legislators. I've been working for decades to repeal broad executive war powers and reduce our defense budget. Earlier this month, when Congress debated this year's National Defense Authorization Act, which funds our military, I proposed 2 amendments to reduce our defense spending by 10% and to reduce our spending levels to the original level requested by President Biden. The House ended up passing a defense budget of over $750 billion. That's $25 billion more than the level requested and the highest in our nation's history. In a once-in-a-lifetime, public health and economic crisis is upon us. The last thing we should be doing is pouring even more money into our bloated Pentagon budget. We should be investing in a safer and more prosperous world. To that end, I'm also working hard to repeal the 2001 and 2002 authorizations for the use of military force. Now, yes, I voted against both authorizations 2 decades ago, as they were blank checks for any president to engage in endless war without coming back to Congress. As we finally close the chapter on the war in Afghanistan, it's time to repeal these AUMFs and reclaim Congress's constitutional authority in matters of national security. It's far past time to rebalance our misguided priorities. And so, as chair of the Appropriations Subcommittee on State and Foreign Operations, which oversees our non-defense foreign spending, I oversee a budget of $62 billion, a fraction of our defense spending bill, which again, as I said, is over $750 billion. So it's time we look at investing in diplomacy and development and away from military first solutions and rethink and rebalance our budget priorities. Make no mistake, we will not be able to get it done without you. This movement is built with a diverse coalition of people dedicated to global peace and security. And so, yes, I am so looking forward to continuing our partnership to rein in executive war powers, to reduce excessive defense spending, and reprioritize development and diplomacy in our national security strategy. Thank you for inviting me to speak with you today. Let's keep up the fight.